So David DeLotta got released January 25th, 2023, and I guess he was arrested in May of 2022. His case only took 6, 7, 8 months for a resolution to be found. And it was the public pretender who got him that deal, the guy with the long hair. I don't know his name. But he's got long blonde hair. Finally, the public pretender, who's a total fucking asshole, actually did a thing. No doubt, he's been taking notes from my case. He won't ever give me any goddamn credit because, like I said, he's an asshole. The public pretender in the SLV, San Luis, Costilla County, he would have fucked up my case royally. Oh, yeah, just file a thing with a thing and you'll fuck my case up, right? I know. But I bet you David DeLotta got a dispositional hearing. I bet you David DeLotta got a preliminary hearing, too. Now we're going to give David DeLotta a fair shake. That's what the court system was going to do. I showed SLV, court, and the public pretender how to stand up and use the law. So I bet you David DeLotta got his dispositional hearing and a preliminary hearing. I also bet you that the public pretender used the motion to dismiss. We Americans have a right to a speedy trial, and so in Colorado there's a motion to dismiss coming if the lawyer knows the law and is, after 6 months, if there hasn't been a speedy trial, then you can file a motion to dismiss, and then the prosecution will have to have a good reason. Instead of shooting the messenger, we should try to nip the problem right in the bud. Let's try to solve the problem. The problem is our police suck. And I think it has to do with the male ego. Men can't say other men are victims and defend another man for some reason or another. But a dangerous person, apparently, they got a lot of respect for dangerous people. The problem is that you have criminals who are criminalizing others, not the Jesus Christ, not the people that turn the other cheek. Though a criminal can't criminalize a person that won't allow it. So we do need for the Christians to stand up better and louder and stronger. You're not going to harm others? Good. We need more good people out here, and we need more good people standing up and stopping bad people from doing bad things to other fucking people. That's the goddamn problem. That's the goddamn problem. The main point of the law is to prevent one person from injuring another person. So if one person injures another person, the law better fucking goddamn get on the side of the victim and get some justice, or the law is just writing themselves out of the goddamn script. The cops and judges can't do it all if they're doing anything at all, right? They can't do it all if they do anything. But I want an active citizenry. We need to stand up for ourselves. And the cops and the citizens have to find some kind of peaceful relationship. If I want a safe neighborhood, and I find other people that want a safe neighborhood, why would the cops be opposed to something like that? You have 46,000 people in the SLV, and you only got, 100, 200 cops? You need the people on your side. You need the people on your side. McCullogh's wife was there, and she's a 20-something, blonde-hair, blue-eyed woman. Her victims' rights didn't seem like they were upheld. She spoke twice. She said it didn't feel like justice. The man who killed her husband's dead and gone forever. That's the money maker. That's the protector, the breadwinner. And I don't even know if he had anybody else. It looked like there was 2 or 3 people that was in the courtroom for McCullogh. But I think that the DA and Kelly was pretty ruthless to her. Why didn't they go to a jury trial? Why doesn't McCullogh get a jury trial? Why doesn't McCullough's wife get a jury trial? That's step 9 in the procedure. Every major crime should go to a goddamn jury trial just on principle. Why don't the people or the media around here demand more out of our representatives? I can't believe that the DA didn't want to take a murder case to trial. How many times? You had the 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds. You have all these shootings. And you're not going to take that murder case to trial. He's either guilty or not guilty. Maybe you overlooked something. Maybe the jury would have caught what you overlooked. How lazy is the new DA? And why doesn't the new DA care about victims' rights? All that money, all those resources. And they'll go ahead and try to prosecute anybody that a cop nabs. Oh, a cop kidnapped Anne Frank? Well, then we're going to push this one all the way to the hilt. You want to impress me much? If the new DA wants to impress me, let's see if you can get a judge or a lawyer or a cop on trial. I bet you can't. I bet you that will never happen. I bet you birds of a feather flock together. You'll have to have somebody to arrest those people. And since the DA is only hiding behind the police branch, the cop branch, you won't see a cop get arrested unless it's another cop. The three branches of government are powerless when it comes to the police branch. We got a fascist police branch. We have a fourth branch that we don't talk about, but we need to talk about it because they're not being held to account to any of the branches. It's almost like the other three branches are dependent upon the violence of the police branch. So if you want to impress me much, DA, let's see if what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Let's see if the law applies to everybody equally. I think it doesn't matter if you're a rich person or a powerful person. You can't go around committing crimes to other people. Nobody can commit crimes against other people, especially major crimes. But that's my opinion, I guess. So since a DA won't ever arrest those other people, right, a cop, a lawyer, a judge, well, they need a cop, a lawyer, and a judge to oppress and victimize the general population. They need to rubber stamp whatever violence the police branch inflicts upon the poor peasant citizenry. Meanwhile, the only reason I'm in the damn courtroom, and I'm tired of people giving me looks, I think there's one lady there with blonde bangs. And, you know, in terms of just she looks nice, but she's sitting in there looking at me like she's something different. And I'm tired of people doing that. She's sitting there making up all this crap in her head about why I'm sitting in the courtroom. Well, I'm the accused, or I'm on this, or doing that, or doing this. There was also another guy in a vest. A guy in a vest, he kind of gave me a dirty look, too. Mr. Vest Man, he had to hit on a woman. He was hitting on the clerks, so he couldn't talk to me. I would have talked to any one of you all. But since DeLotta basically won his case, the family, the mother had, wanted to talk to me. And the family had pointed out that the toxicology report said there was no narcotics in DeLotta's system. And I would assume he probably would have got some drug test immediately, right? DNA, drug test, the whole works. And they probably would have done a toxicology for DeLotta as well. So I'm in the courtroom for 3 warning shots that I fired over a year and a half ago. I fired 3 warning shots from behind the house, behind my home. Boom, boom, boom. And then I drove up and down the street. He drove up and down the street. He wanted to do it like 2 or 3 more times because that's what the right-wing sovereign movement does. So I was there for 3 warning shots fired over a year and a half ago. 3 warning shots I fired from behind my house straight up into the air to warn some fucking prick who is jerking his big rig over towards me, acting like he's going to run over me or my dogs or my property, my home. He's going to do something to me. He's laughing, having a good time. He's best friends with Robert Pickerel. Robert Pickerel's a devil-worshipping felon. He's a devil-worshipping felon, a minister, a harasser, a right-wing sovereign. And so's a person that goes by the name of Phil Greeny. So you got 2 right-wing sovereigns out there, fascists, devil-worshipping felons. And then Mr. Big Rig is sitting there jerking his wheel like he wants to run over he's delivering something to Robert Pickerel. Was it that pistol or that rifle? Where the hell did Robert Pickerel get a rifle at? And a crossbow. But Robert Pickerel goes into Costilla County as an illegal person, illegal settlement, didn't go through planning and zoning. and then starts harassing the local people that were upholding planning and zoning. He's a right-wing sovereign. He hates the laws. He hates the rules. He didn't read a single law of Colorado. He wasn't going to respect Colorado's laws. He was going to move into your neighborhood and say, fuck your rules. So Mr. Big Rig jerked his wheel like he was going to run into my dogs, run over my dogs, doing something stupid. I'm living out in the middle of nowhere. What the fuck is this piece of shit? I just walked outside to walk my dogs. And how many times did Phil Greeny drive by my house? I wasn't allowed to walk my dogs, go for a bike ride. I wasn't allowed to fix my fence. Phil Greeny is a terrorist criminal. Pickerel, Phil Greeny, this Mr. Big Rig, anybody and everybody apparently is allowed to commit whatever crimes they want against me. They didn't care about before September 17th, 2021. They don't care about afterwards. We threw 2 DAs out because they didn't give a shit about victims' rights. You think they're going to get the picture and start actually upholding victims' rights? Even if David DeLotta was guilty, let's say he goes to jail, for the rest of his life, you still can't commit crimes against him, not in jail, not during the trial, not beforehand. Even if he's guilty. The judge yelled at me to shut up. He didn't yell at DeLotta to shut up. Why? Because I want the court to have some goddamn perspective. DeLotta killed a man. I just shot 3 warning shots. You can't have any perspective? Why don't y'all have some goddamn perspective? But he was going to put me in jail for some time for a contempt charge because he didn't want me to say, why don't you have some perspective? Once again, he's trying to contempt me the fuck up. Told that cop. That cop seemed like a nice bailiff. And I'm kind and friendly and dedicated to nonviolence and dedicated to being a good American citizen. The judge yelled at me to shut up, but not David DeLotta. I guess David DeLotta was allowed to be kind. He had a public pretender that was educated by yours truly. David DeLotta had a John Masters also out here in the American public sphere talking about his case. And I did lean towards David DeLotta's innocence, but I reported everything on both sides. I talked, about Omega. I talked about DeLotta. And my idea was put it all out there. Here's who the internet says this person is. The internet says, here's what it looks like to me. Common sense, logic, look at the evidence. If I don't have personal knowledge of the thing, because that's all I know. I only know what I know, and I know if the evidence suggests or proves. So I put it all out there. Both Omega and DeLotta had some previous charges, so it could have been, when I think of a drifter out in Costilla County, in general, I would think a drifter, he might have a gun or a knife on him, but he is so poor, he had to walk goddamn hours to just buy some goddamn, a little bit of food and a little bit of water. So if you're walking out in the middle of a cold-ass desert, I don't think of you as a danger. I think that you probably are in danger from the general public. But a drifter can be a criminal. It's just that I leaned on, towards DeLotta's side. He called 911. He kind of did. If you're a hardened criminal, you would do the crime and then, you're going to keep doing crimes, right? So you like hide in the shadows or something. You go to Mexico. That one guy ran off to Mexico after he shot 4 people. So I reported everything with the DeLotta case, both Omega and DeLotta. And the idea was by presenting all the information that's out there, yeah, it'll muddy the waters a bit, but what it'll do is it'll force you to come up with your own conclusion. What do you think actually happened? Look at the evidence. You weren't there, so you don't have personal knowledge. All you can go with is the evidence. And the evidence either proves things or suggests things. So I don't have any claim on the truth of DeLotta being, did he shoot Omega in self-defense or not? I have no idea. I do trust my instincts and gleaning information from the reports. I just use common sense, facts, and logic. And I talked about the case. And some people might want to shoot the messenger. It almost seemed like some people were trying to tie me into David DeLotta. I don't know who DeLotta are. I don't know who the DeLottas are. I never talked to them a day in my life except for when DeLotta got released. And I didn't talk to David DeLotta. I've never talked to David DeLotta. But every time I went to court, since it's district court, that's where all the felonies are held. You got a lot of notorious people, notorious cases that was in front of district court. Now, I want to be a journalist, and if I had freedom and safety and security, I would love to go to these local government meetings, go to the judicial branch, and just sit in the gallery and write down what I observe, and then publish that. Be a professor, be some kind of journalist. But since I'm embattled, since I'm being accused of a felony, well, I'm going to talk about that, but there's motherfuckers that's on lines that seems like they're trying to tie me into the damn case and try to get me to say some shit they spend all this fucking time fucking with me. Have they investigated Pickerel or Greeny or Capon? Have they investigated any of these people? Spend all the goddamn time in the world on me. And not a single second from my perspective investigate. So my idea was just to let the truth uphold itself. Here's, some information on DeLotta. Here's some information on McCullogh. Here's what it looks like to me. I'm not for sure. Let the truth uphold itself. The truth is immovable. There's no your truth or my truth. There's just the objective truth. Either DeLotta was justified, self-defense, or he wasn't. Maybe it was a police action, or maybe it was just cold and calculated. Who knows? What we don't have is 12 jurors looking at the matter, and we don't have reporters, and we don't have videos and the witnesses. We don't know any of it. We don't know any of what happened. Basically, my knowledge of this situation is the same as it was in the very beginning. There's a dead person. There's this person that called 911 that said he did it in self-defense. End of story. That's the whole thing. So even though he had a kind face, I leaned towards his direction. I still was just stunned that the judge just let him walk away. Just let the judges, I guess, they got to prove that the system does work and that the public pretender does have a say-so. And they let the lawyers play their little games, and they got to just sick and tired of we, the public, being deprived of a jury trial. 5 18-year-old and 17-year-olds killed somebody. There was a TikTok murder. Is that gang related? 25 murders in the past 6 or 7 years. It's too fucking much, wouldn't you say? We got the nice country charm of Mayberry, but the homicide rate of Denver, the homicide rate of New York City, Chicago, what are we doing? This makes no sense. I want a jury trial for those 18 and 17-year-olds. I want a jury trial. There's a cop that got shot. Can we get a jury trial on that? Can we get a jury trial on the TikTok murder? Andre Psycho Barros, can we even get a jury trial for Andre Psycho Barros? The defense is trying to say he's crazy. He does look like he did too much meth and his brain is melted. But he was competent enough to murder 5 people, so he's competent enough to sit in court and be tried by a jury of his peers. And if the jury of his peers thinks that he's crazy, then that's going to be the verdict. But he's either guilty or not guilty. Pretty sure they found the bodies on his property. Pretty sure he had killed the person. And no self-defense, no police action defense. It almost seems like there's no defense whatsoever. It seems defenseless. And how many of these crazy sons of bitches play on Colorado's system? They play on it. You got that one Planned Parenthood guy who shot an abortion doctor or somebody getting an abortion. Robert Deere. Robert Deere is still playing with the goddamn system. The King Super Shooter is still playing with the system. James Holmes is still playing with the system. They said they was crazy. Oh, okay, so they get to sit in a nice, comfortable mental hospital. We give them 3 hots and a cot and take care of them. Make sure they got all their rights and make sure they have more respect than what they showed their victims. Andre Psycho Barros is trying to get called insane so he doesn't have to serve any jail time. He don't want to go into the real jail. Oh my God, he didn't want to. A serial killer, he would rather do his jail time in the comforts of a mental hospital and not a jail. And it almost seems like it's going to work for him. I'm sick of these criminal fucking sons of bitches. Don't pedophile, don't rape, don't murder. How hard is it? How hard is that for you people? I want jury trials for all those heinous accusations. Don't pedophile. Don't rape, don't murder. So that way we can weed through the bullshit. Get 12 jurors get 12 peers to look at the case real close, and then to nab the fucking heinous criminals. I'm sick of these motherfucking pricks burying this shit behind closed doors. Fuck a liar. Fuck a pedophile. Fuck a rapist. Fuck a murderer. I mean, it's one thing to disagree with me on like small things, but you can't agree with me on the big things? You want to know why cops get away with so many terrible, violent crimes? Cops sometimes can do their jobs, but a lot of times cops are insecure pricks, and they just don't want to be disrespected. They're the ones at large and in charge, and everybody better kiss their ass. But how come with Uvalde, when there's danger, they didn't go in? How come with the 5 cops in Memphis, they just kept beating on dude? Dude's 140 pounds. There's 5 of you. Why do cops get away with committing so many terrible, violent crimes? When it comes to statistics, cops are more likely to be violent, more likely to be on drugs, more likely to commit domestic violence upon their wife and kids. So why do cops get away with so many fucking terrible, violent crimes? Tradition, for one thing, the thin blue line, but it's fascism. It's totalitarian fascism. You heard about a fascist hurting some person over there and you just accepted it? You just went along with it? I think one of the main reasons, because I believe in the 3 branches of government. The whole point of the 3 branches of government is to check and balance each other. The king, we don't have a king. We have a president. And the president has to get elected and then has to be consistent with the legislature and the judicial branch. We got 3 branches of government to check and balance each other. But the cops get away with so many terrible, violent crimes because they're the 4th branch. And the 4th branch of government is allowed to get it. They have a license to murder, a license to do violence, a license. They're the thin blue line. It doesn't matter what perverted crimes that they commit. Did you hear about that one perverted cop? He drove all the way to California. My guess is he was trying to catfish somebody, fell in love with her, goes to her house thinking she was going to love him, shot up her whole family. That was a cop. You're going to tell me that that's okay? Because you're a thin blue line piece of shit. You're not a Christian. You don't know right from wrong. If a person has a badge and a gun, they get to be a Pontius Pilate fucking criminal terrorist piece of shit. Who cares how many Anne Franks and J.C. Dugards and Frederick Douglasses and Fred Hamptons that they victimize? I give a damn. So these 3 branches of government's also filled with a bunch of fucking nerds, a bunch of college-educated people. You went to college, you say you know so fucking much. How come crime is running rampant? The cops get away with so many terrible crimes because the judicial branch and the legislative branch and the executive branch has failed. They can't tell the cops what to do because they're dependent upon the cops and their terrorism. So even though the 3 branches of government are checking and balancing each other, who actually checks the police branch? If the 3 branches don't check the police branch, sometimes the internet will try to do it, try to videotape it with shaming, though a person has to have some pride and dignity in themselves for shame to work. You can't shame a psychopath into giving a damn. That's a psycho. They're going around hurting people because they like to hurt people. You shouldn't have done that, I know. We got 3 branches of government to check and balance each other, and if the judges and the damn governors and mayors and county commissioners, if they're so fucking smart, then they get the cops in line. The way the county commissioners, you got the power of the purse. Don't finance the sheriff's office or finance this or that. Just threaten to pull the purse strings until the sheriff gets on board with the county commissioners. The county commissioners are the executive branch. The police theoretically work for the executive branch. So the county commissioners and the sheriff should be in tandem with one another. So that way the deputies of the sheriff would be in tandem with one another. So David DeLotta had a kind face, and I'm inclined to believe him. But I was even left stunned on January 25th, 2023. Are you sure you don't want to give this guy at least a month or 2 in jail? He said he was guilty of reckless endangerment. I know he was in jail for 6 months, but some of that was preventative, right? He did kill a guy, and even if it was done in totally justifiable self-defense, like in general, you try not to kill people. You should shoot them in the leg. You should fire a warning shot or two. You should try to do something else. That's the last. You don't go with violence in the very beginning. You go with violence at the very end. So I don't understand why Michael Gonzalez and the new DA Ann Kelly and Patrice Engel and Joe Hensley all believe that 3 warning shots is way worse than murdering a man. 3 warning shots is way worse than murdering a man. You're wrong. You're wrong, Ann Kelly and Patrice Engel, Joe Hensley and Michael Gonzalez. You're wrong. 3 warning shots isn't way worse than murder. Not in the slightest degree. It's almost like reason and logic doesn't even reach their desk. A fascist wants to arrest Anne Frank, and they're just going to rubber stamp it until Anne Frank, catches syphilis and starves to death in a concentration camp. But yeah, please, America, for my sake, I'm begging America, please. Violence and justifiable, self-defense, even if it's fatal, should be the last option. Before you finish a person off completely, fire a warning shot or two. Please, America, can you fire a warning shot or two? You got people breaking into businesses in Antonito and Alamosa. Shoot a warning shot or two. What a warning shot does to a criminal is when they're in your business and they're sitting there stealing and they hear that warning shot, they feel that shot in their bones. And maybe a criminal didn't think about how much getting shot is going to feel, and it's going to hurt. And a warning shot gives them that warning. That gives them notice. It gives them caution. Stop what you're doing. It looks like you're here to commit crime. Stop what you're doing. Go about your day. Get on out of here. Don't commit the crime that it looks like you're about to do. So even though I was leaning on DeLotta's side, being innocent, he seems innocent, nice face, call 911. Between the two, he looks like he's the skinnier one. But the little guy could be, a bully too. But I'm thinking not community service, not even a small fine, not even a jury trial, nothing. He pleads guilty to a misdemeanor and then walks away. Shouldn't you give him a small fine or something? Then he was ethically obligated. Oh, my hands are tied. Your hands are tied to fuck over Anne Frank, and your hands are tied to letting maybe he is an Anne Frank. And Anne Frank defended herself, and Anne Frank gets to come back into American society. And they got a new bill of health, and I hope that the DeLottas, I hope that they take this second chance very serious. The righteous, according to the Bible, can fall 7 times, but the wicked can only fall once. So, yeah. And it's a crazy world, too. Seems like there are some folks who was trying to tie me to the DeLotta murder. Fucking pieces of shit online. Private investigators, maybe DA investigators, I don't fucking know. But I've been getting a lot of weird messages on my YouTube channel. I YouTube to educate the world. And if you don't like what I YouTube about, moveon.com. I know that when I am entertaining, I get a lot of views, but then I'm wondering if I'm getting the wrong kind of views. So, if I were to put together a composite, though, of all these creeps, these motherfucking, they're anonymous pieces of shit, so they're cowards. These anonymous, creepy motherfuckers online are cowards, and then there's, that dog face from the RV park. There's some people that, mess with the internet, Hiram and some other people. So I suspect it could be a number of folks, but they're anonymous. But if I was to put all the anonymous comments together and come up with a composite of who this person is, well, this is a psychopath. It's a goddamn criminal. It's a perverted psychopath. It's a racist. It's a pervert. It's some creepy middle-aged white male pretending to be a 15-year-old boy. It's a creepy middle-aged white male pretending to be some woman or some man. It's all fucking liars, deceivers, psychopaths. And I bet you they're male and Caucasian too. Creepy racist sons of bitches. I said I was opposed to racism, and somebody goes, "Oh yeah, motherfucker." But that's who's writing comments on my fucking page. And it's anonymous. When I I use Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, but I used a dummy account 5-10 years ago. I only did it once. Miranda something. But I felt bad about it. I felt bad that I was pretending that I was this really not even a hot woman, just kind of hot enough. And I was getting so much attention online from everybody. Everybody wanted to be my friend. Women want to be my friend. Men want to be my friend. My God, I didn't even have to say anything. I talked about making biscuits and how to, come up with the perfect way to make biscuits. You have to make gravy. It's got to be, with the bacon grease and the flour and the milk. You just have to, your concoction has to be just right. It's got to be perfect. My God, I got so much attention and love for that post. A meaningless nonsense post. But I had a dummy account. I wanted to just basically convince myself something that I already knew, that women are treated better than men. Women are treated better than men in America. I suspected it. After having that Miranda account, I was convinced of it. But I only had the account for a month because I'm talking to people pretending I'm a different person. They believed I was the person that I was presenting myself as, but it felt gross. It was dirty, deceitful. I'm pretending to be somebody who I wasn't. You have that Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So you might think that you're standing in a room and nobody can see you and you're observing everybody. We all could see you and you're a creepy fuck and you're changing the energy in that room. I was pretending to be somebody who I wasn't for about a month. I don't have any dummy accounts today. It's me, John Masters, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. But I only pretended to be somebody as a experiment for a while, but it just felt gross and wrong and deceitful that I like to be authentic and genuine. I like to be authentic and genuine, so I couldn't keep posting, as Miranda. But Ron Bradley is actually Ron Loper. Is that the truth? Ron Loper, you deceitful fucking creepy fuck. You're a middle-aged creepy white male, right? You're a fascist. You're you're a lying piece of crap, but maybe you're a right-wing investigator of some sort. But I would like to know your politics on race, and I'd like to know your politics on right-wing sovereignty. What do you think about the Constitution? Because I got a 3-pronged test. Coming into Costilla County, I wasn't going to get in with the right-wing sovereigns, and the way I was going to test them was, are you okay with abusing children? Some people out there are like, yeah, I'll just hit a kid. Yeah, okay, fuck you. No, strike one. And you're a racist and you're against planning and zoning, strike 2, strike 3. So you lying pieces of crap. How much time and effort was wasted trying to tie me to something I had nothing to... I don't know the DeLottas. I've never met David DeLotta in my life. I've never spoken a single word to David DeLotta. When he was released, his mother and family wanted to talk to me. We talked for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the back of the courtroom, in another room, not in the main gallery. So Mr. Suit and Vest wants to stare me down for whatever fucking reason. He needs to take a piss. But Mr. Suit and Vest, you was sitting there flirting with the damn clerk. I just needed her to file a paper or something, but he needed to flirt with her. He was being a Mr. Stuck-up piece of shit. Mr. Stuck-up, Mr. Elitist fucking piece of shit. You want to talk to me? You want to be my fucking friend, motherfucker? You had several chances. You seen me several times in the courtroom. But you don't know how to be nice. You don't know how to persuade people. You want to sit there and stare me down? You're about to go to the fucking bathroom congratulating the family that was just... I didn't release the family. I didn't release DeLotta. That was the DA and the chief judge. You think Mr. fucking Suit and Vest is going to try to stare down the judge or stare down the DA? Nah, he's got to kiss their asses. He's got to kiss their asses and then just be a dick to, what, Mr. Jesus Christ? Mr. Good Nonviolent? I've never done anything to you. Never said a mean word to you in my life, motherfucker. If you were nice to me, I would have been nice to you. He's staring at me because I'm talking to the family and he's acting like I had something to fucking do with it, you piece of shit. The only thing I did was talk about the thing. And I forced you all to come up with the truth. And if Ann Kelly believes that he defended himself and so does the judge, then maybe it's a good decision. Because you shouldn't really be in jail for a day if you justifiably defended yourself. Now, should you? So I congratulated the mother of David DeLotta for his opinion. I didn't, even still today, I've never talked to David DeLotta. How are you going to tie me into, I think it happened in Blanca. I live by the bridge. I've lived in McCullogh, Blanca. I've been to Blanca only a couple times. You're going to try to tie me into something that I have nothing, and then all that time wasted. And nobody's, oh my fucking God. Imagine if they, instead of being a bunch of fascist fucking criminal fucks, if they actually could believe a honest Jesus Christ, huh? Maybe he's telling us the truth. Maybe he was the victim of many crimes, and we should care about victims' rights and go after the criminals. Yeah, you think? You fucking think, Mr. Suit and fucking Vest Man? Also, that lady with the fucking blonde bang, she's giving me stares and looks and shit. Y'all didn't try to say a kind word to me, so how would you know anything at all? You just assume the worst, because you are the worst. So I'm happy that the mother of David DeLotta, she seemed sweet as pie. She seemed salt of the earth. What did the mother of David DeLotta, I hope they use their brand new bill of health on something valuable. Maybe get away from this shithole. Go to Idaho or something. I don't know. Find a good job in a month or two and start being a productive, progressive citizen in society. You got street cred and you got courtroom cred too. But people might want to challenge you. I don't know. Maybe just leaving seems like, if I'm a working class family, I wouldn't want to stay around here. You being a good, honest, Jesus Christ kind of person in a world of evil, you're going to go down if you don't stand up for yourself and don't have a backbone. So good luck to the DeLottas, good luck to them. They've been given a brand new chance at being an American citizen. And like at the end of Saving Private Ryan, make sure you earn it. Make sure you earn it. So I don't know who this fucking Ron Bradley or this Tammy Tablick, and frankly, it's too many fucking dumbass fucking shit saying dumb shit. Me being sarcastic, sometimes somebody will say something sarcastic online and I'll say, oh yeah, sure, that's what the fuck I want, you piece of shit, you creepy middle-aged fucking 40-something Caucasian male being a creepy fuck. You don't care that you're not being authentic and genuine. You don't care that you're not being honest. Who gives a shit what some anonymous fuck says? When I speak, I put my thoughts right next to my name. I tell you, this is my face telling you exactly what I believe. Are there any other men out there that's upfront and upright? Because my understanding is I trust a man that backs his words up. You just read some random fucking words online. Do you even know who wrote it? You can't just believe random fucking words from out of nowhere. In the court, you have to have foundation for any of the things that you come across. So I like being authentic and genuine, and I like to be upfront and upright. I like to be authentic and genuine, upfront and upright. I like to be forthcoming with information. That's the Deming model. That's a conservative model, to be forthcoming with information. Even if you're the dictator or the cops, you want to be forthcoming with information so that way your whole team and the people that you're protecting knows exactly what's going on. So I don't know why some white males feel more safe and comfortable not being a man online. They're not upfront or upright. They're not authentic and they're not genuine. They're okay with being a fucking fake avatar. They feel safer being an invisible avatar online. But Ron Loper, when you did that, you sick fuck. You need to get a life, but when you did that, you were just like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. You were changing the energy of the world. Do I have people driving by my house because of you, you piece of shit? And did you ever investigate Pickerel or Capon or Greenie? Never once, did you, motherfucker? I'm trying to change the world online, so you guys are fucking mad at my, uprightness? My decency? My dedication to virtue, love, peace, the truth. I told one of you anonymous motherfuckers that I wasn't a racist, and one of your anonymous fucking pieces of shit acted like you wanted to fight me over it, so fuck you pieces of shit. Now there was somebody that pretended to be Omega's son, and I just told him to fight for his estate, because who else is going to tell him that? But I assumed you were some creepy fucking creep, being some creepy fucking weirdo. And if I'm giving advice to Omega's son, then which side am I even on? I was on the side of the truth. I'm on the side of peace and love and justice. I'm on the side that makes this world a better place. So you guys are a bunch of racist fucking creepy... Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I know. Fuck you, though. You're an anonymous creepy fuck. And if I'm putting all those anonymous people together, you are a racist, creepy fucking weirdo, man. You are such a creepy fuck. And then, because I responded to some of them, I'm trying to get views on YouTube. So the more you comment on YouTube, the more views you get. So I'm thinking I'm using their words to get more views, but they're thinking they're talking to me. And since they're talking to me, did you fall in love? And y'all been in love with me since I've been born, but you can't admit it. And so you just been shitty.